Hello guys! I am really happy to be back, and as promised, I bring you a review. This beauty over here is the Spanish edition of the Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkoski, in this case published by Plataforma Neo. Thank you Plataforma Neo for this amazing book, which maintains the original cover, as you can probably tell. This book was a surprise. I wanted to read it since last year when I first heard of it in booktube, but until this year I couldn't actually hold it with my hands because we had to wait until it was published. So again, thank you Platform Neo for supporting this author and this book in particular. So, although I think you probably know about this book already, I'm going to tell you what I thought about this book when I read it. There's been a while since I read a YA book, and in this case, here we have the beginning of a trilogy. The next book in Spanish is going to be published in March, and I cannot wait to have it. Well, this book is actually a very complex book, so I hope I am doing a good review without the spoilers. First of all, you have to excuse me. I know the words for example, the people that are living in the society where Kestrel lives, or the slaves, how they are called. I know the name of the citizenships in Spanish, so I will use that. So I'm really sorry if at some point this doesn't have any sense. But this story is the story of Kestrel, which is the daughter of a very important general for this empire that conquers cities and fights wars against the rebels, to call it like that. So she lives in the Iran country or Iran area, I'm not sure how to call it, which is a part of this world, this invented world that was conquered like 10 years ago after a war. So the people that actually are former citizens of this city are slaves now, and they live as slaves for these conquerors, and they establish this regime in where the Valorians, which are the people that live that belong to this society, as Kestrel does, the conquerors have power over the rest of the people. But she's not a typical lady of this society. She loves going to parties and going shopping and to the market and stuff. But she doesn't like the slavery market that is set for this regime to continue on. So in one morning she ended up in an auction for human beings, and without thinking she buys a slave that she doesn't need and she doesn't know for what exactly she wants him to work. So these two characters, the girl and the slave, are going to develop a very important relationship. Very important because she will have the new character as a link to her society. I explain myself. She is the daughter of a very important general for the empire, but all the people are very aware of that. So they tell her what she wants to hear instead of what is actually happening sometimes. So with him, with a blacksmith, because he's a blacksmith, she will develop this like bond. Like, you tell me everything that is going on that nobody wants to tell me, and I allow you to do certain things that normal slaves cannot do. But the problem is that not everything it's like it seems. And here we go with the review. One of the most important and more striking things for me in this novel in particular, although I hope this track continues on in the rest of this trilogy, is that any character that you see here is not black and white. It's not either black or either white. It's very complex. You have, for example, Kestrel, which is the majority, this is like the most common point of view of this story. So you see, she loves going to parties and enjoy life with her friends, but she doesn't understand and doesn't share some traits of her culture. She isn't strategic, such as her father, and she, for example, she treats slaves as people, which not a lot of people in this universe or this society does. So in this case, she is very complex and she makes mistakes. She has flaws, but she also very reflective on herself. The same goes for the slave. This boy is not exactly what we think it is, and I think that this makes well built up character, these very complex characters, are more visible when it comes to the secondary characters, because you can think that in this society of control over other people, you are either on one side or the other. So depending on in which side you are, the other one are like evil, and you're going to see them like that all the time. But then you read this book and you realize that people that are actually part of the conqueror people, like the regime that conquered the city, are actually good people, but also very caring and very soft and sweet. But there are also people that are really, really bad people. So the same goes with the slaves. There are slaves you empathize with, and there are others that you actually don't want to see them or you don't want to interact with them. And I really appreciate the work of Marie Rutkoski in creating these rounded characters that have so many facets that you don't know from where they are going to come back next. It's like you don't know what they are going to do next. And that's something I really like, because that's going to lead me to another point. But first, I want to say that in this story, although it's invented universe, uninvented country, is based on the Greek and Roman sort of style and life. So this is not a spoiler. You can read this at the back of the book in the last pages, like the note that the author does. But actually, when I was reading this regarding the construction of the houses, the descriptions of these buildings, and for example the clothing or the weapons, you can actually tell there is some kind of Roman or Greek influence in it. And I, for example, love that kind of touch. I love the Greek stories. I love the setting is really well described. Personally, I was dying to be part of that world. I was when you are in Kestrel's shoes while reading it, you saw all these big houses with with sculptures and fountains, and it's brilliant. It's just her descriptions are so vivid that you have the feeling that you are inside there. And she's very cautious with the words that she uses, so you have this brilliant experience with you. And the use of words and the complex characters lead me to the point. This book is not safe. This book, you are on a constant either heartbreak or heart attack. It has so many plot twists that you don't know how it's going to end. That until the last page, and even then, it's like, what are we going to do next? What are you bringing in the sequel? It's like I was terrified and in love with this book. For a really, really portion of the book, I was like, I'm not sure how it's going to end. I couldn't put it down. The rounded characters, complex characters, you don't know what they are going to do next. So every decision, wrong or right, depending on your morals and your traits, affects the rest of the world. So it's like you get driven by these events, and some of them maybe you see it coming, but some others I was like, what? When this happened? Why I didn't see it before? Why I didn't see the signs? Because of course there were signs, and you didn't see it. So I really applaud. I have no words to say how I adore Marie Rutkoski. She is brilliant. She's fantastic. I really, really praise Marie Rutkoski for making me fall in love with a story that actually hold my breath or make me hold my breath until the very last word. I think that that's something really hard to maintain during the whole story. It's really hard to make the characters so compelling that you cannot put the book down. And also, I think that it's really hard to have in your head all these facts and know how to play them because you know what is going to happen. So, but you need to make it sound like surprising or casual or not even expected at all. So you need to control the vocabulary you're going to use. You need to control how you're going to deliver the information to make it surprise, to make a surprise out of it. And I think as a writer, that's really hard to make. You have to have really clear steps of the things that are going to happen, and then have the technique and the pros, if you let me say, to control that, to make it shape into a very surprising story, which is what this book was. I have no words to say how I adore this author. She rediscovered to me, rediscovered YA to me, and I was really, really trying to find a book that caught my eye and keep me clinging, keep me waiting for more, longing for more. Marie, I'm not sure if you will see this, but if you do, please keep writing. You have a talent, a pure, raw talent for this. I'm speechless. I know I talk a lot, but it's just thank you. Thank you for this amazing story. And to the viewer, if you haven't read this, please pick it up. It's completely worthy. I just wish I haven't read it so I could sit down and surprise myself again. It's just so, so, so worthy. Well, this was all. Have you read the book? Please let me your opinion in the comment down below. Be aware that maybe some people haven't read this, so don't leave spoilers. In this case, if you like it, tell me like what you like the most, if you agree on the points I raised here, or if you disagree. Like if you like, you can subscribe as always. I leave my social media down below as well if you want to comment. Also on Twitter or follow me on Goodreads, or I don't know, look on my Facebook page. You are very welcome to do so. Bye.